and this is Alekius, bringing you third episode of BeamNG. Now, I've been spending a bit more time in automation than I expected, and I didn't want these episodes to go too far apart, especially since I really enjoy recording the BeamNG episodes. They do take a bit longer, so I'm not going to do as many of them as I do automation. You can see that in the outtakes from the previous one. That was just 4 minutes of outtakes. There was quite a bit more footage clipped from that. That was, I think, an hour and a half of recorded footage. I had to chop it up into bits and all that. But I enjoyed it, so I want to do them. I do have a couple questions for you all in the form of tracks you might like to see. And instead of the ones that we have done, or in addition, the ones we have done, I kind of want to do those as a core set of tracks, but they don't have to be. I can switch it up and redo some of the old ones off screen if I want to, or maybe on screen. I don't know. They're still early in the series. There's time to really change the format of it if we really want to. In addition to that, I wouldn't mind doing some additional cars. I've already taken submissions from Lightning Dragon and his channel, and I'm going to continue to do that as I move forward. But if somebody would like to add in some of their own, as long as they follow the rules of it, I'm okay with that. And as far as the rules go, I'll put them down in the description, and if anybody wants to add in their own designs, by all means. But like I said, I'm really enjoying this. I don't mind doing some extra ones. But with that, since the automation series is running a little bit slower than I originally intended, especially as I've been really engineering a lot more, I think I'm going to go and do some of the other trims that I didn't do last time. I don't expect them to be as entertaining. Entertaining in the sense that they're fast, they're exciting, they handle well. Entertaining more from the sense of they should still be entertaining to. Pardon me, I had a little bit of a tangle with my controller. And here we are in the Drumstick Basque 51, a convertible sport budget, 2 doors, 2,100 pounds. She should be pretty heavy, and she is. She is the only rear-wheel drive of all of the drumsticks, with a 2-gear automatic gearbox. Has the same 12S62 KV1 engine as every other drumstick, putting out a whopping 62 horsepower. And of course, I forgot to pull up the map of the automation test track so I can name all the corners. I know it has signs on the side, but trying to squint at those when I'm trying to position for a corner. I said I'm not this dig. I'm not that great a driver. Generally, we've been flooring it all the way across, though. A little bit slow, probably due to that extra 300 pounds from having a convertible. I'm interested to see how sluggish she is on the uphill. Now capping out at 78. I don't remember, but I feel like the Bantam got up to 80. Bantam was 1,820 pounds. Let up. Nope, that's not enough. Needed to brake a little bit in the early part of the corner so I could get on the gas a little bit sooner. I also don't run these tracks multiple times. I do not have a ton of time to record. I kind of squeeze it in wherever I can in my schedule. So kind of just do these, shoot from the hip, and get it done. With that, if you think one car or another got a raw deal, I do not mind redoing them. You're gonna be like, oh no, the Almea, you drove it like garbage. Try it again on the automation circuit track. I'll do that. No guarantee that I will. It has to fit into my schedule. Okay, yeah, we're pretty much flooring it almost around the entire track. Okay, overdid it. The hard turn, I know she's been a little bit sluggish around this track. And I wanted to see how the e-brake handled. She does not drift very well. So there we go, we have a 347.310. It actually puts her half a second behind the Almea. And here we are in the Drumstick Basque 51 on the automation handling course. A lot of short bits, turns all over the place. A lot of uphill, downhill. Could put her through her paces on a lot of different weight distributions, left, right, and forward, back. At a variety of speeds too, since they do have the really slow turns and a couple of run-ups that give us a little time to accelerate, put a little bit more, get up to a higher speed. I would say this car is a bit anemic as far as the acceleration goes. 62 horsepower just isn't quite enough for it. Again, I could say that with all of the initial ones. I'm really looking forward to 40 vehicles. I needed to get a couple of initial vehicles built out in automation and have some successes that we could build a second, maybe even a third factory. Okay. Actually handles pretty well. There are a couple sections where I think that's mostly my fault, not the fault of the vehicle. And 157.602 actually puts her in second, above the Almea and above the Java family car. Alright, continuing the Basque. Seems to be handling pretty well so far. Especially on the shorter sections. That may be because I can just hold the accelerator down. For most corners. These ones, it's going to be a struggle. I can't just hold down the accelerator the entire time through hairpins. Probably could have held it through that. Especially since this begins the uphill. So her performance on the handling course was actually pretty well. Okay. I let up on the throttle just a little bit. Really didn't need to. Might be able to hold it through these hairpins. But performance we've seen so far, the automation test circuit, we did abysmal, coming in last of cars tested so far, likely due to similar horsepowers, and this is the heaviest car by far. Whereas on the handling circuit, we actually did fair. Even though the weight was high, I'm guessing it keeps the speed just a hair lower than the other cars we've seen. And this has a good suspension in it, as being one of the more expensive models. Oh geez. All that weight's pulling down now. Conclusion, don't get a soft top. Although realistically, it's get a soft top with more horsepower and more gears. Actually handling the ice okay. Yeah, I'm not needing to let up at all for the ice. We're not even getting sideways. Weight does have its advantages. That puts her at 3 minutes 7 seconds decimal 048. Puts her in third on the hill climb, ahead of the family budget Java. Alright, here we are ready for the downhill, which ought to be scary. The amount of weight on this vehicle and how used to its sluggish acceleration I've gotten, I expect to make some mistakes on this. Take it easy through the first icy down our corner. Brake some. Oh, and we flipped it. Actually drive straight. Okay. Just so you know, those gutters are deadly. There we go. Yeah, she's suffering no real ill effects. Actually getting a little bit exciting to drive. Handled the landfall, or hillslide, rockfall. There's what I was looking for. Pretty well. Hairpins are okay. almost dropped the right front tire into that gutter. Somehow, I don't think I can initial D this. Putting the tire into the gutter would probably result in a tire being ripped off. For all you initial D fans out there, much like Takumi did. Oh, if I hadn't tapped that, that might have worked out. Blew the last corner. That's gonna hurt her time. I am in a little bit of a time squeeze today, so I'm not gonna redo that one. Not today, at least. High-speed hill corner is going well. 226, 203. 26.203. That actually puts her in second. More surprises. Here we are in the Basque 51 on the West Coast City Circuit, which I was struggling in a little bit last episode. Definitely out of practice from all my simulators. Woo, tap the curb. Suspension's fine. Played a lot of the Gran Turismo since 2, 3, 4, and now 5. I just recently got a PlayStation 3. I know I'm living in the past. Just haven't been interested in consoles much. And then I think Gran Turismo makes a good experience. But I think Forza has much better physics. Makes a much better racing simulator. At least Forza's 2, 3, 4. The ones I've played. Be careful. Brake before we do this last one. Come around that corner. Oh, it's like I've gotten used to it. Do we dare the curb? Well. And I've played other driving simulators. Oh, geez, squirrely on the high-speed corner. Ooh, that was unexpected. A little bit of wheel spin from the rear-wheel drive, maybe. I've played other racing simulators. Not a ton of them. But I've always had a like of racing. Gran Turismo taught me how to take a racing line. Not that I'm doing a good job of it. I'm not going to claim to be any. Like I just said, I am severely out of practice, and these cars are very underpowered. I think Forza did a good job of refining it and getting me used to tuning vehicles. Enough so that I had my brother-in-law and a couple of my friends actually watch them race and be like, no, you need to up the camber a little bit. Yeah, stiffen the rear springs. Things like that. To tune their vehicles to get better lap times in Forza. Very entertaining. Ooh. Minimal issues getting through the city circuit. I think I might have gotten used to it. So we're looking at a 2 minutes 43 seconds .670. Which, yeah, I've been adding it in the whole time and I've got it color coded now. Puts the Basque as second of the 4 that we've done so far. No, I would really love it if it told you what car you were using. Oh. Yeah, but that's not as useful as having it there. Oh, you can see the suspension difference. That's part of the problem I had with the Java was understeered due to body roll. Cool. I can at least check. And here we are on the highway strip. Lovely drop to that second gear. I'm guessing the lower suspension is part of what makes this car a bit more delightful to drive compared to the Java, even though it's much heavier. I mean, I could definitely do with more acceleration. I did not check to see what the quarter mile was. We'll have to see at the end. That's the half mile. We're easing to the right without losing any speed. Boosting it just a little bit. We can straight line the finish line without having to steer again. See how much we can squeeze out of it. 71, 72. Okay, that puts us at a 22-second 0.22.178 quarter mile, which is the worst. Not surprising considering how heavy she is. Then a 1 minute, 1 second, 892, which is also the worst by just a hair. It says it down there in when, too. Nice. At least I have something. Oh, for the overall time, for all tracks, comes in at second, 20 seconds faster than the Java. But well behind the Bantam. The Bantam just rocked it. And it's that 3-gear manual that did it. For sure. Gave her that power without getting basically that shift from first to second to break up what is essentially first to third for these other ones. That skip a gear and just sucks all the power out. And that goes for the Almea too. If she'd had 3 gears, she might have been a bit more lively, and that might be a thought exercise to come take on camera. With that, we'll switch cars. Head back to the automation test track. By the way, this is a good opportunity to point out, here are all of the courses. You can read a little description down here. So, circuit around the narrow technical handling course, which is the one we do. A windy gravel circuit, which we can add in if people want to see off-road segments. A full circuit from automation, which we've already been doing. Short layout around the automation test track, which this is mostly stuff we see already, just with a little cut through. Circuit using an old track road featuring a concrete banked turn, which is again mostly track we already see with just this cut and a sharply banked turn right there. We have the hill climb that we do already around the switchbacks to the mountain. Twisty climb. This is a hill climb and downhill on gravel roads. And there's the 7.8 kilometer endurance rally up and down the mountain. Rally because you'll have the gravel segment, the freeway drag, and then the climb, and then the top of the dam. So those are the automation test tracks. I'm not going to bore you by doing tons of going through all of them right now. I'll kind of show you some of the options that we have. For our next car, I think we'll do the family utility wagon. Probably our second heaviest car. Probably have much higher suspension. Alright, and this is the Drumstick Brackle 51 5-door wagon with some graphical glitching on the rear lights. Okay. Barely let up on the gas. Looks like we didn't need to at all. Should drive pretty similar to the Basque convertible. Coming around this corner. Come to the first serious corner that we have to brake for. Oh yeah, that's significant understeer. I'm gonna have to drive this a little different. Oh, before I forget, the Basque was 2,110 pounds. This is 1,990. Only 120 pounds left. Front wheel drive, part of why it has that understeer. Handled the U-turn very well. 2-gear automatic. Same 12S62 KV1 engine. See if it's more than 78. I doubt it. Tapping out at 76. Possibly due to additional air resistance, having a higher suspension. Now I know from the Basque, I'm gonna want to brake a little early, then get on the gas. Oh, too early on the gas. I think I handled that better. Now we come to the chicane. Brake a little bit late. Start our turn in the middle of our brake. Accelerate out. Should have taken a better angle. Oh, especially since it left us in second gear. The bottom dead zone of it. Coming around, we might try to just let off the gas. Nope, we're gonna need to brake. Too much understeer. Go by the lake. Right. I think the first facelift for these cars, I'm going to change that license plate. It annoys me because now it's a sports vehicle. Ooh, bit of a shimmy on the uphill corkscrew. Onto the final straight. Having just called that the uphill corkscrew, it makes me almost want to go find a Laguna Seca track. Do a downhill corkscrew. And we come in at 3 minutes, 45 seconds, decimal 805. Comparable with the Java. Probably be a running theme through this. And here we are at the handling course with the Brackle. Alright, I'll get rid of my inclination to let up on the gas. Should have some shimmy. Just start shaking. Right? Handling well so far, but she's sitting at the bottom of her power band. And I'm over maneuvering, lowering her down even further. The understeer. Up on an uphill turn, downhill turn, same radius, or similar at least. Bit of a switchback. Tapped the e-brake, it worked out well. That for this, get in early, don't mind the gravel. Not losing much by going through it. At these speeds at least. Leaves us a little bit higher in the power band. She just bleeds off speed. Wider turn. Holding it through, cap mostly at 39 miles an hour, capping out at 40. Then across the finish line. Two minutes, 5:35. 2 minutes, decimal 535. And again, comparable to the Java. Probably be the running theme. And here we are in the Brackle on the hill climb. On the 2-lane highway up to the approaches. Struggles to reach highway speeds. Any sort of uphill. Barely even touching the brakes, I don't think it was necessary. Our first hairpin. Flooring it all the way through. Granted, it's the uphill. Oh, that gutter. Coming through the curve. Now the uphill struggle for the steeper portion. We have the rock fall or landslide. Bringing us around the corner. Essentially makes it a decreasing S-turn. We have this U-turn. The uphill to the right, and we'll hit the ice section. Oof. We drop it to first, thank you. Much better. One of the times I really want to manually shift. Alright, handling seems to be fine on icy conditions. Around the faster corner, still just like the Basque, it didn't really have an issue. We have 3 minutes, 8 seconds, decimal 405. A little bit better than the Java. Here we are at the start of the downhill in the Brackle. We'll spin on the ice to start. Probably because it's a front wheel drive. Let up on the throttle a little bit. On the throttle a little bit more. Let off. Moving on. Come to the icy U-turn, where we say hello to the mountain. And hope that did not damage the suspension. Brake for this portion. Oh, hit the gutter again. Now for the tough hairpin. Suppose a true hairpin with that kink in it just before. Now we have the rock fall. I'll start calling them the rock fall S's. Now we get to the higher speed downhill portion. We will need to start braking. Oh geez, very early. One's a little slower. A little E-brake. Didn't follow through with it, otherwise that might have worked out. That backhand kicked out pretty strongly though. There we go. There's some follow through. Ugh. Not work out though, those gutters are really deadly. Finish out the downhill portion. Too aggressive with that. Thankfully there wasn't suspension damage and all that. And we hit the 2-lane highway to finish it out. Takes were made. Nothing major. High-speed handling definitely is a little bit sketchy in it. Let's look at this as a 237.346. And now we switch to the West Coast and start with the now infamous City Horse. There we go, that's how to handle it. There was one run before this that you didn't get to see. Might be in the outtakes if I do them again. Where the city lives up to its name. The uphill where we're going to lose speed. Oh, lose lots of speed. Well, that we'll switch to first then. Handle it on first. Gets the San Francisco seal of approval. Now for the downhill excitement. Come to the left. First hill. Oh, nice soggy, deep suspension. Second hill. Oh, we bottomed out. Hit the brakes. Oh, was I too late? Was too late, but controlled the skid and ended up in between the fire hydrant and the light pole. Which we've seen from the previous outtakes, these are not breakaway light poles. And not up to modern code. Do the seaside highway run. Slow down, hit the uphill, which counteracts the understeer. Almost maintaining on this hill. We've fallen out of the power band though. Come past for the highway past, I think, the inside track for the gas station. Not going fast enough to need the longer outside track. Take the cement factory turn. This has been particularly frustrating on a couple runs because this is the end. Starting this steep uphill in first works out well. Ideal run. We head for the finish line at a whopping 35 miles an hour. Put in a nice 2 minutes 50 seconds, decimal 612. Puts us in the middle of the pack, a little bit better than the Java. Oh, while I'm looking at it, we have all of the West Coast City tracks. It's West Coast USA. They have the Long Circuit one, a big racetrack just outside the city. We have the alternative racetrack just outside the city. Big racetrack just outside the city with a chicane in the middle of the long straight, ideal for slower vehicles. Long race circuit 2. Short race circuit. Big racetrack just outside the city, short version. All these easy difficulty? Yeah. Drift circuit, small even track located on the parking lot within the big racetrack. Difficulty medium. Off-road circuit, figure 8 dirt track, features multiple jumps, rough terrain, and uneven ground. Will actually be a lot of fun. Medium, we have the highway strip we're about to do. Reach top speed on this 1 mile long highway strip. We have the street course that we've done. Narrow curves and steep slopes lead you on a race through the city. Difficulty hard. B. Not surprising. Street course 2, drive along the water on this race through the city and the harbor. Hard difficulty. We have the mountain course, drive on the mountain roads of the West Coast USA. Difficulty hard. Cell tower delivery, drive from one cell tower to the other. Make sure that you don't fall off the hills. Difficulty hard. Highway intersection, a race around the highway intersection, combining fast straights and tight corners. Definitely looks like it. Difficulty hard. And then the quarter mile. I'm not going to read the description. It's a quarter mile. And here we are to close out the Brackle on the highway strip. Not as aggressively geared as the Almea. It's better off the line. I think 22 seconds has been our average here. And the Brackle is no different. 22.489. Are easing over. Can't get a little bit more speed, she's gonna suffer. 68, 69, 70. Finishes out at 70. That actually puts her at the bottom. So our quarter mile was 22, right, 22.467. It's the new worst. The average was actually 21, just under 22. And then our overall, 1 minute, 3 seconds, decimal 579. Also the worst. So due to the highway strip and the downhill, the Brackle turns a worse time than the Java. Not surprising since it's 80 pounds heavier and very similar otherwise. But with that, I don't think I'm going to have any more time. There goes the mirror. At least not today. So give me your thoughts. I really want to know what you'd like to see. If you'd all like to make some submissions, that's fine. On the flip side, actually, I'm willing to hand over the automation track files if you have a desire. Not sure how I'll do that transfer, maybe via Dropbox, maybe some other method. I don't know. I'll figure something out if people are interested. But with that, I am out of time. So thank you for staying to the end. Let me know what you think. I appreciate your comments, and I'll see you next time. Take care.